Yeah, so guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And in today's video, we've got the second episode of When to Buy in FIFA 20. If you guys aren't aware what this series is, this is a series where I basically cover loads and loads of different segments of players. And when you want to be looking at buying them in FIFA 20, because of course, you know, FIFA 20 is coming up and you may have an interest. Now, we've already covered episode 1 and that was the meta players. That is players from 20k to 100k. We're talking Martials, Gabriel Jesus's, Sane's, Sanchez. I think that's literally covering half the players. And basically I covered them and split them into sets, be like, okay, well this is a set of players, you know, maybe your BPL metas, this is when you wanted to buy them, and so on and so on, and then came up with a few conclusions on when to buy players. And today we are going to be doing that for the Team of the Week 1. So I've gone and selected 10 Team of the Week 1 players who should, you know, be a good array of players. They go from SBC Fodder to 92 Inform Hazard, who is quite expensive. So head over to the screen right here. You see that Team Week 1 in FIFA 19 was pretty stacked. Werner, Angel, Hazard, Payet, Lozano, Xhaka, Malenko, Coulibaly, Alvaro, Cancelo, Sommer, Breve, Strax, Kosha, Gary Rodriguez, Sidney, Gondor, Fraser, Pepe, Wright Phillips, Gerso, Logasu, Rodriguez, Han Yon-won, and Suzuki. So they give a pretty stacked Team Week for Team of the Week 1. But the players I've gone and selected have been 92 Hazard, 86 Cancelo, 89 Coulibaly, 83 Malenko, 86 Payet, 81 Fraser, 81 Pepe, 83 Lozano, 83 Kosha, and 84 Xhaka, sorry. And the reason I picked them is because I can half pronounce their names. But yeah, there should be a good array of players, so should be interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to go split these into different segments and talk about how different cards reacted from Team Week 1. So happy with 82 Hazard then? Well, the first 2 days, the 22nd and the 23rd, he dropped 30k a day. Reason for this is his card was super rare, so every single time he was packed, it was obviously increasing the supply, making him drop. Also, who the hell has 700k to buy a Hazard at the beginning of FIFA? People are going to keep undercutting and undercutting and undercutting, making him get cheaper. And until the 24th, when the EA Access dropped, he dropped 60k. Again, way more packs being opened, supplies probably being double, triple, quadrupled on this day. We see him drop 60k. 25th, he drops another 60k. Reason for this, way more packs still being opened, his supplies dropping and dropping and dropping. Then, we see him rise 60k for 2, and he holds that for 2 days. That's, I believe, what? 1 or 2 days after EA Access, he rises 60k and then holds it until the full release. Full release comes in, he drops another 40k. After that, he does rise 100k, and then basically keeps a, rise 100k over the next, I think, 4 or 5 days. And then he keeps a weekend league cycle where he will drop on the Thursday. Oh, sorry, he'll rise going into the weekend league, so the Thursday, Friday, but then he'll drop on Saturday and Sunday when people are selling their weekend league teams. So buy times on super expensive, high-rated, super duper players like Hazard is the 25th, so 1 day after EA Access, and then the weekend league cycle, so buying on a Thursday, selling on a Sunday. So the second set of players we have got is a set which I'd like to call overinvested. Overinvested is when the players basically, as soon as they went out of packs, they dropped loads, and that's because I believe way more people bought them than there was actually demand for. A little bit controversial with this one. So the 2 players that fell under this category, by the way, are 86 Inform Cancelo and 83 Inform Lozano. Controversial because actually Cancelo has a one to watch the day after he goes out of Team Week, so arguably you could blame it on that. But then Lozano has the same sort of trend, and you could argue they're both demanded. But so this is, I guess, for players that there's a lot of hype around the investing, especially players who rise quite a lot in the last 2 days of them being in packs, so the Tuesday and the Wednesday, because a lot of people are panic buying them, thinking they're investments, when really what happens is they could get absolutely dumped on the market because as soon as they're out of packs and everyone thinks they're going to start banging, they don't go up and everyone's just trying to undercut and undercut and undercut because they're all trying to get their coins back. So we do have Cancelo and Lozano fit under this. So let's go talk through Cancelo's price. 86 Cancelo did rise for the first 2 days. He rose 10k a day, which unlike Hazard, who dropped 30k a day, this really just shows the high rating and the rarity compared to the low rating, where again they're a lot more demanded. So that happens, and that also shows again the difference between someone being loads of supply compared to not much supply. He then plateaus out between the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. This is the days of early access, the day before, the day, and the day after it's been out. And as I say, he stays cheap. A lot of packs being opened. I imagine he's being packed a fair bit. We then have the 2 days after EA Access, and he actually rises up 15k. Now this is the 26th. This is, I believe, the Tuesday, so the day before he goes out of packs. Again, a lot of people panic buying. Following day, I believe he does rise another like 5-10k, which will be 27th of Wednesday. And then the 28th, as soon as it, or I guess between the 27th and 28th, he drops 25k. Now again, this was the same day one to watch is, so I'm not gonna act oblivious. I'm not gonna act blind. Could heavily be because of that. Arguably, probably is because of that, but that doesn't fit my agenda. But again, you know, we're seeing in the last few days he's been basically panic investing. We see the exact same thing with Lozano, which is actually why I throw them both under the same umbrella. Therefore, the buy days on Cancelo would have been the 21st, obviously the day it came out. And then really it's, well, it's the day, I guess it's 3 days after he goes out of packs with the likes of Lozano. So that would have been the, I believe, the 28th, 28th, 29th or something along the lines of that. Basically, you can see the 25k drop right here, and then you can probably see another 10k drop at this point, and then he was nothing but up. And basically following the weekend league cycle, as a very demanded player in FIFA, so you would have seen a nice weekend league cycle. Second player we've got is going to be Lozano under this. The reason Lozano fits under it is because he basically does the exact same thing. So, Lozano, what happened to him? So he rose 5k on the 23rd. He didn't really do too much. He dropped 4k on the 24th. You can see this little drop right here, I believe. And again, that's just due to being packed quite a lot. You know, there's a lot of people opening packs over on the early access, which is the 24th. He was then up 6k the following day, which is 1 day before he went out of packs on the Thursday, and then he rose another like 2-3k over on the Wednesday, and then he dropped 9k over 2 days. You can see this little drop right here, and again, this is as soon as he went out of packs, he dropped 9k. Arguably over-investing, you're seeing this very steep thing right here. So what you could use this to compare for FIFA 20, you see anyone who's had an extremely steep increase, almost like an increase of a third or something like that, between Tuesday and Wednesday, you honestly may see a massive, massive drop. With the Lozano, from then onwards, he kind of just did a little weekend league thing. I think he held about 30k, and then he rose 6k for the first weekend league. You know, and there you go. So the buy times for him was really, as soon as he went out of packs, you know. In fact, 1 week after he was out of packs, the 8th of October, was as cheap as he was with early access, which was quite interesting. So there is a bunch of players. Well, there are 2 players who basically a lot of pre-hype, a lot of last day buying, which as a result left to a lot of dumping, which as a result, you know, meant they went down in price. So that is the second set of players. On to the third. So the third set of players is SBC Fodder. So there's kind of 3 or 4 of them actually in this list. And SBC Fodder really wasn't too good. Now, you're not losing money on SBC Fodder, which is nice, but really, by the looks of the graph, you're not making too much money as well. You see that it stays very, very flat for the best part of about 2-3 weeks, and the last thing you want to be doing while everyone's doubling and tripling and, you know, 10, 20, 30k's being here and there with money being invested, last thing you want to do is go and put all your money on these, them not release any SBCs, and then you have to wait all the way to, I think it was the 6th of October, so that was about 3 weeks, and that's actually when they start rising. So he did rise 10k between the 11th and the 22nd, which again would have been as a result of the release of SBCs, but it's really a waiting game on these. You know, you're really just waiting for SBC Fodder, so it's down to the likes of, you know, again, he's probably better than some of the others, but Stratsham literally was dead money, you know, if you just invested in him because he didn't go up whatsoever. So SBC Fodder, if there's no demand for it, you're not making money. So before he actually had his mad spell in Lille, he of course, 81 Pepe, had a pretty low rated card, and you can see the exact same thing. 10k is the discard, he literally stayed discard, he's already out of packs and he's still discard, and it very strangely took until the 2nd of October, which I think is around about here, for him to actually got to about, I think it was about 13k, still really nothing amazing for someone you probably would have held on to for about 2-3 weeks. And then between the 2nd of October and the 8th of October, he rose to 19k, which again just shows that with SBC Fodder, you're kind of just waiting for them to release something, and as a result, it's just not worth it because, you know, it's you're not really making any money, especially, you know, 9k for a 3-week investment. Yeah, a bit of a yikes. Nothing too amazing. So just showing you with strats. Again, they're not doing anything. They're not going up because of the rarity or anything like that. They're literally only going up as soon as an SBC demands their cards. The next of these players that fits under SBC Fodder, which might be a little bit sad actually, is 81 Fraser. Now a lot of people might look at him at the beginning of FIFA, and I'm pretty sure I probably did myself, and was like, oh, this guy's a Premier League player, you know, he's gonna maybe he's fast Premier League player, no way does he stick at 10k. Oh well, he basically did stick at 10k. Fraser did basically absolutely nothing until the 30th of September, and then he was just so slow, you know, you were literally holding on to him for a month. For him to probably rise about 7-8k, that there was just nothing on it. So another rule, I guess, or another thing to look at is, even if they're playing the Premier League, I think he had like 72 shooting. he really wasn't any sort of meta. Maybe if it was like a left back, because there's way left backs, but with left mids in the Prem, yeah, it's got that position sorted. So Fraser sadly was just nothing more than another SBC Fodder player, meaning you didn't want to put any money into him. So the last of our examples to show that SBC Fodder just didn't work is 84 Xhaka. Now you can see he was very slow. Nothing really interesting happened with him. He just started about 15 to 17k for the longest of times. Yeah, it was 17k until literally being out of packs for about a week. He then rose 5k over on the 5th, and then rose 9k on the first week in league. You can see this really nice little rise right here, and that is week in league. But again, who wants to be holding on to a player for 3 weeks to only rise 9k? That's a pretty woeful return. So again, buy days for him literally could have been anywhere after a week. Well, honestly, with all this SBC Fodder, the buy days is just nothing, because even though he's in the Premier League, he's not heavily demanded unless he was making some sort of like meta sort of teams. They're just not demanded. So if you can take anything from this little segment, is don't invest in SBC Fodder at the beginning of the game. You can literally look at the last episode to see that a few of the meta golds were amazing returns. These, on the other hand, 3 weeks for 9k on like a 20k investment, absolutely woeful. On to the next set of players. So our last set of players are players that really you wanted to buy in the first 1 or 2 days. If you didn't buy in the first 1 or 2 days, you probably wanted to buy just before next week in league, because they kind of held the same sort of price. So Malenko, what did he do? Well, he held 13k for the first 2 days, didn't really go up, didn't really go down. He then rose 3k over the next few days. The thing is, with these coins, they're so minuscule. They're only up 1 or 2k. That it wasn't really anything interesting. I believe then on the 26th that he dropped 2k, and then after that he went all the way up to 9k. I believe. Sorry, it went up 9k over the next 2 days and held 20k until around about October the 11th, which is when we had the first week in league, and that's when you can see this sort of like big old rise, and that is when he rose for the first week in league. And I guess there was a little bit of hype on the POTM. Second player we've got with this is going to be the likes of Payet, and again, Payet, these players, you really either want to buy them very early on, or you want to buy them just before the next week in league. There isn't really a hurry. With Malenko, buy days were 21st, 22nd, and the 29th. 86 Payet, so on the 22nd he rose 5k, on the 23rd he rose 7k. He held his price between the 24th and the 25th, which is early access, so that means the same amount of players, the same amount of him were being bought than were really being sold. On the 26th, he went up 10k. On the 27th, he went up another 7k. On the 28th, he went down 8k. That's with the release of the full game. And then he went up 5k a day all the way up until the 30th of September. And then, then he just slowly rose, and then there really wasn't much in it. You can see that he really flattens out. I think he's generally only rising, 1-2k a day, really, up until week in league. And then, of course, he follows the week in league cycle of rising on a Thursday and dropping on a Saturday, Sunday. So the buy days were the 21st, the 24th, the 25th, and the 28th of September. And then, of course, after that, just got to make sure you're buying for week in league. So now Coulibaly, who literally shows the biggest example of them. So on the 22nd, he rose 5k. The 23rd, he rose 10k. The 24th, he rose 15k. The 25th, he rose 12k. So literally EA access and the full game being released didn't really change anything. 26th, he rose 12k. And basically, he held this price. Now, what was interesting, he did rise 25k on the Tuesday and Wednesday, but then, as soon as, he basically, to be honest, he fits under the too much hype. As soon as he went out of packs, he dropped 20k, which again shows over investment. So, as a result, the buy days for him would have been the 21st, the 29th, it would have been the day after Wednesday, whenever that would have been. So I think that would have been like the 27th. When he dropped 20k. And then again, you just want to buy him before the 7th of October, before the first week in league, because as soon as 7th of October happened, that's when we see some of the sharpest inclines. And up until then, it's all relative, so it doesn't really matter when you buy it. It's again, just buy it sooner rather than later. Or if you don't buy in the week that he's in packs, just buy before the first week in league. There's no mad hurry because he just held the same sort of price. So that has been that. What we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to give you a little summary with a few simplified dates. So if you were to go and end off the video, just in conclusion. So if you want to get a top dog player like Hazard, do make sure to pick him up. I think it's after he actually goes out of packs. So you want to buy him out on the 27th, I believe. 28th, he was the cheapest, even though he wasn't in packs. I guess what people have done is they invested in him. Maybe we're trying to sell him off as an investment or so on and so on. So we saw him being the cheapest when he was out of packs on the Wednesday. What else do we have? We've oh yeah, if you see players rise on the Tuesday, Wednesday that they go out of packs, don't buy them, because we've seen a lot of times they're overly invested, which also means they're overly sold and they drop a lot. Don't buy SBC Fodder. We showed 4 or 5 examples of literally SBC Fodder not working, so don't go anywhere near it. And it's literally, I mean, it could do well, but in the end of the day, it's a luck game. You know, you're just basically waiting on SBC, so they're not a really fast flip. So I probably would stay away from them because nothing interesting happened, especially with Pepe. You know, players you wait in 3 weeks on. And finally, with the lower rateds, you kind of want to buy sooner, like the lower rated demanded players. So let's say, I don't know, like Yao Cancelo. I don't know who else was madly demanded. Malenko. Buy sooner rather than later. But if you can't afford, well, if you can't buy them in the week that they're out, just make sure you buy them for week in league. Because the first week in league we saw Malenko rise. I think we saw Cancelo rise. So yeah, I mean we saw Coulibaly, but it's not that low rated. So just make sure you buy before the first week in league, and you should be all good. So hopefully this video has helped you guys if you are looking to buy team week 1. Hopefully you can maybe compare a few of the prices you know, I've been using with like sharp rises, with SBC Fodder. Hopefully that can be very comparable in FIFA 20. Tomorrow's video should be how do icons basically react. So we're going to be covering icons that aren't new icons and aren't primer icons. So it's like baby and middle icons that are semi-demanded, and see how they did in the first 3 months of FIFA. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys in another video.